There's a whole lot of new rides, but I'm an old school 5-0 kind of guy. Push rod pimp, backyard built, turtle wax and tires.
Yeah, you see how, like, when you hold it flat, you can feel every little imperfection. The car's got a nice crown to it right there, so you'll feel that. Yeah. That's normal. It'll almost feel like it's riding on a high spot real quick and drop off. But that's normal on that. All right, guys, let's talk about block sanding real quick, and or cutting and buffing, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so as you can see, this car has some orange peel in it. It's got a good gloss, but it's got some orange peel. So what we're doing now is taking, we got 2000 grit, and we're just going down the side of the car, long crosshatch strokes, very, very similar to the way that we do primer, because this gives you the chance to come in and get any little slight imperfections that you might have had before out now. So there's a couple different ways of doing this. As you can see, Andrew's got a different way of doing it. He's pulling basically everything to one side one way, and once he gets done with that, he'll come back and he'll do his, crosshatch pattern there. So there's a million different ways to do it. See, now he's going to go back that way. This is what you need to do if you really want your car to pop. 2000 grit on a block is pretty safe, I will say, but the corners and the edges are what'll get you. Like down here, if he were to just be careless with this and pull this block down too far, he'll get down into that lip and there's no paint. If you guys don't know, there's no paint on the edges like that, or very little. You'll cut through. Other than that though, just kind of stay away from it. You'll get yourself a good result. And the whole key here to all of this is to blend. I say this all the time, but it's so true. This car cannot be straight. It can't be flat because it's not a flat panel. It's a rounded panel. So what you have to do is make it appear that everything is perfectly straight and smooth. And the way you do that is you blend all of your edges and everything else. In other words, he's pulling the top half up and blending it across, and then he's pulling this lower half down too, and it's going to blend it as well. Anyway, so that's what we're doing here. I'll show you guys, give you an example. On the surface, this appears to be, dry and flat and everything else. But if you look, here's the key and the trick to this. If you look down the side of the car, now look, we can see a reflection. So this is where you have your opportunity to go up and down the car to make sure that you don't have any imperfections, and if you do, you might be able to go ahead and get them out. As you can see, he stayed away from the body line right here. The body line, we will get it, but we're gonna do this last. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and roll that body line a couple times and just kind of smooth it out, and that's gonna be good. We're not gonna touch any of this. That's fine. You're able to work this a pretty good amount. You don't wanna go crazy. We burned through last night on the driver door with a sander and 1000 grit wet sanding with a DA. That's what we got. Let me show you something over here that we've been working on. This car does have metallic in it, so it's not going to reflect like you might think it would. And also, we've only hit it with a wool pad. And also, this thing's not done yet. We're just verifying what we think will work. But if you look here, see the slight waviness right here. Guys, pay attention to that. You see that? You can get all of that out whenever you're wet sanding and buffing. So there again, that's 2000 grit. You can start with 1000, 1500, 2000. If you have one of these Roots buffers, I recommend that you give the old wool pad a try right here. This is the Bigfoot 21, so it's got a long throw. We got the body line sanded down. All we did was take a long block and just kind of roll it over the body line. So now that's all sanded too. It's not perfect. We left a little bit of orange peel in there, guys. We don't want to get carried away on that body line. We can always come back. All right, so here we go. Turn it down. About 3. And work your way up.
compound stays wet forever. I was trying to work it in and work it in and work it in.
All right, here's a good talking point. So, I know, right? Look at
That shit turned out good, boy.
Right. So it's turning out really good, right? So let's talk about the ways that you can go about doing this. So Andrew is mowing the grass first, okay? That's something that me and him kind of joke around about, but it makes sense. I'm the type guy, if I'm cutting grass, I'm gonna mow grass first with the lawnmower, and then I'm gonna come in with a weed eater and get what I couldn't get. Same thing here. We're gonna use the lawnmower first, cut the grass that we can cut, then we're gonna come in later and we're gonna weed eat all this right here, right? And we're gonna get all of this stuff that we couldn't get. The main thing is get the big area, and then you can come in over here, because what you don't wanna do is how can I explain this? If you don't know how much of this you need to get, you could be over here overworking yourself, right? And you could actually burn through somewhere. So the best thing to do is get what you can get, come in and do that. Looks really good though. Look at that, look at the clarity.
With just a wool pad?
Yeah, and it's not even done yet. Damn good job, Andrew. You did a damn good job.
I hope so. It
Yeah,
looks like it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, guys. Big reveal, I guess you could call it. Here we go. Look at that. So that is good. So Andrew went down this thing with 2,000 grit, and we started out with a wool pad, and then we went to this yellow pad that I got off Amazon. Works all about the same for the most part. 3D1, which is I think it's diminishing compound if I'm not mistaken, but you can use this for pretty much anything that you want. Use it with a more coarse pad, it's going to cut more coarse. With a fine pad, it's going to leave you with that type of finish. One compound, and there you go, from start to finish. So this thing looks really good. Check it out. Come on, guys, come on. The car is turning out awesome. We've got probably another 2 days of wet sanding and buffing, as you can see back here. We worked a little bit on the other side. Let me just step back so you can see. Quick walk around, I guess. So when I tell you that you can do body work and you can buff, you can. As you can see, this side is not finished out the same. We just did a wool pad. You can actually see it's hazy. You can see the haziness out now over here. But we've been working on this, and we've got most of the run that was in here out. You can still see, if you look right up there, you can see a little bit of it. Andrew's been talking to Neo, and the ground effects should ship out tomorrow. So we'll have those nice straight ground effects for the car. And Andrew might be getting some new wheels here soon. So we'll disclose that a little later on for you guys, but I think y'all really like them. Well, I can tell you that looks like an absolute mirror with nothing but the blue pad. The only problem with this color is when you shine the light directly on it, you look, it doesn't look black anymore, because essentially it's not. But like if you turn it back on you, look at that.
Yeah. That's
crazy. Andrew's out here, it's nighttime. He's still grinding away. It's the next day after we got the car home. I want to show y'all something that this is our go-to. We use a lot of different products. This 3D1 is awesome. But something that is a guaranteed go-to for us, and it will work every single time, is this blue compound. And he just bought a new bottle. That's the new redesigned formula, by the way. Mm-hmm. And a blue pad. I don't care if you've got a Roops buffer or if you got a Harbor Freight buffer. Use the Roops pad with that blue compound. Guys, that'll get 1,500 grit scratches out and polish that bitch to a mirror finish. And if you don't believe me, here's your proof. I mean, I don't know how else to show you. So Andrew's using a little technique here that we use sometimes, which is in corners and stuff, you can go ahead and kind of put it in the corner of wherever you got to get to, because it's harder to get in there. And that way, every time you run across it, you got compound right there. So he says he uses it to mark spots, but I guess it works for that too. Give me a smile there, Andrew. Look at that shit, y'all. That is just awesome.
I run it on 1 just to get it smoothed out, and then I'm still going to 3 and then going from 3 to 5.
Yeah. And the good thing about one of these random orbitals is you don't have to use any particular technique. It doesn't matter. You can jump around, move around. As long as you get it buffed out, you're good to go. Now, With a high-speed buffer, you can't do that. But on this, it really doesn't matter. These are 2000 grit sand scratches, by the way. So anyway, Andrew's going to continue on like this, guys. So 2000 grit by hand on a stiff block, blocking this car out, and he's literally hitting it with nothing but the blue pad there and that. You could also use the 3D 1 compound, which works great, but it's not going to cut as quick as that combo right there. All right. Coming soon, guys. Coming soon. She's going to be a damn showstopper.